This pot is lined with stainless steel, while this one is lined with tin. To the unsuspecting eye, these two cookware surfaces might look the same. And while stainless steel and tin do have their similarities, these are two vastly different types of cookware that serve different types of purposes. Today, I'm going to explain all the similarities and all the differences between stainless steel and tin cookware to help you decide which is best for you. Hello and welcome to I Want to Cook. My name is Chef Matt and this channel is all about helping you be a better cook. And yes, today we are doing another cookware comparison. This time we are comparing tin-lined cookware like this with stainless steel-lined cookware like this. Now, before we get into their differences, let's talk about their similarities. So let's start with the obvious, and well, first of all, these surfaces are nice and shiny. And beyond just their nice aesthetics, that really makes a difference in cooking. You might recall when I compared shiny standard aluminum to anodized aluminum, the big difference was with the standard shiny aluminum, you could better monitor the way food is cooking, especially browning and when making sauces. With a darker surface, it's harder to monitor that. But with the shiny surface, it's easier to see when browning is taking place, such as when we made those sauteed chicken breast or those wonderful seared scallops. Another important similarity with these two types of cookware is that both of these surfaces are non-reactive. And that just means that they aren't going to react adversely with foods. So you won't get any off taste, you won't get any off colors. That can happen when you're using something like standard aluminum or even cast iron. It can just make the food taste off or just have an off color, especially acidic foods. Both of these linings also have another positive non, which sounds kind of like an oxymoron, and that is that both of these are considered non-toxic. Okay, so let's start with stainless steel, and one of its best properties is that, well, it is so popular and so widely available. You can go to just about any retailer and find stainless steel cookware. It's available in all sorts of sizes, all sorts of pots, pans, and beyond, and from various manufacturers. Everything from this really nice Maviel to something older like this vintage Revereware to something like this all-clad pan. These all have stainless steel linings. Now, speaking of cladding, most stainless steel pans, especially the good stuff, will be clad. And that means that it has been mechanically bonded to a different type of material. So this one, for instance, you can see it is clad with some copper. It's got this big copper plating underneath, and even something like this Maviel, this has a full copper plating on the back, and this all-clad pan is actually clad with some anodized aluminum on the bottom, while it is stainless steel on the inside. So why are these pots and pans clad this way? Well, it's because stainless steel by itself isn't a very good conductor of heat, but other metals are. So when you clad it with a metal like aluminum or copper, that helps that stainless steel heat up fast and cool down fast. Properties you obviously want when you're cooking. Another positive attribute about stainless steel cookware is that it's quite tough. You can use metal utensils on it. It is really durable. It's also oven safe and a lot of times broiler safe. Another great thing about it is that some of it, but not all, can work on an induction range. And if you're not sure if the cookware you have or the cookware you're planning to buy is induction ready, well, I did a whole video on that topic and I will link to that in the description below. One of my favorite attributes about stainless steel cookware is that it cleans up easily. You might remember this pan. This is an all-clad pan that I bought for just $5 at the thrift shop. And boy, was it a mess when I bought it. It had definitely seen better days. But with some elbow grease, I was able to shine this up and make it look almost like new. And I'll put a link to that video in the description below. The transformation of this thing really was something. Another thing to know that if you are one of those people who really like to just wash their pans in a dishwasher, a lot of stainless steel is considered dishwasher safe. Now, I wash everything by hand, but if that is important to you, that's good to know as well. And finally, stainless steel is a known quantity. I mean, this stuff has been around a long time. Stainless steel was actually invented in 1913, and well, stainless steel cookware has been around for decades and holds up really well. Like this vintage Revereware pan with a stainless steel lining, I mean, I don't know, this thing's gotta be, I don't know what, 50 years old? And it looks like new, and I use this pan every single week. So this stuff really is durable, and like I say, it cleans up super easy. Okay, let's talk tin. Now, while tin may not be familiar to you as a cookware, this stuff has been around a long time. In fact, you might consider it the grandfather or great-grandfather of stainless steel. This stuff has been used for hundreds of years for cookware. And that might lead you to think, okay, so why isn't it popular? Well, perhaps the biggest reason is it is expensive. This stuff often costs hundreds of dollars. Now, this particular piece, it might also look familiar to you. I did a review on this pot. This is a Bomaloo, and I actually found it for only $25 at a discount store. And I'll put a link to that video in the description below. It was quite a find. But usually, tin-lined cookware is vastly expensive. Okay, so why is it expensive? Well, it's handmade. To make a tin-lined pan, an artisan needs to take molten tin and put it all in the lining, swirl it around, and create that tin coating. And well, that costs money. Another reason this stuff is super expensive is because tin has a copper exterior, and copper is an expensive material. Now, while you might find a stainless steel lined copper pan like this Maviel, it doesn't always have to be copper with stainless steel. In fact, most of the time it rarely is, except for the high-end stuff. But for tin, well, it's almost exclusively uses a copper housing. And there's good reason for that. See, tin and copper are natural partners. So when that tin is lined onto that copper, it creates a chemical bond. Think of it like a metallic glue so that those are stuck together. It doesn't require a mechanical, forceful bonding like cladding for other types of material. For tin and copper, well, they're just naturally get along together and they naturally fuse. And there's another great benefit to this tin-copper pairing, and that is that they are extremely conductive. So tin, unlike stainless steel, is a really conductive metal, and copper is also extremely conductive. In fact, it's like the most conductive metal I've ever worked with. So when you combine these two, it's got very quick reactions. When I was reviewing this pot and making that beautiful applesauce, I could not believe the reaction time. It was so quick. As soon as I turned up the flame, it started simmering. As soon as I turned it down, it stopped. The reaction time of this stuff is absolutely incredible. So in addition to being expensive, that means that tin-lined cookware is very exclusive. I mean, you're not going to just walk into your local Walmart or Target and find this stuff. In fact, you might have a hard time finding this in a dedicated cookware store. You have to really go to a high-end place or online to find this stuff. And a lot of it is imported from France, like this Bomaloo. And remember, because of its exclusivity and high price, you're probably not going to find the selection that you would of stainless steel. There's not that many makers of high-end tin-lined cookware these days, certainly not like stainless steel. So you're just not going to have the variety that you will of stainless steel cookware. Now, as magnificent as tin-lined cookware can be, it does have its downsides. For example, if you have an induction range, well, it's not going to work on that. So if you're thinking of getting this stuff and you have an induction range, well, that's going to be a no-go. Other things to know about tin-lined cookware if you're thinking about buying this stuff is that the metal is softer. So you don't really want to use like metal utensils on it. That can really kind of scrape it up. You're also going to want to hand wash this stuff only, and keep in mind, because this exterior is copper, if you want it to be nice and shiny like this, it's going to take some polishing, it's going to take some maintenance to keep this shine if you don't want that patina that builds up on copper pans. Another thing to know is about oven use with tin. Now, tin actually melts at about 450 degrees, so you don't really want high heat applications with this stuff because you can risk actually melting the tin. And another thing to definitely know is that, well, this tin will wear out eventually with use, and you'll need to do what's called re-tinning. And that means you need to send it to an artisan to have it re-tinned. Of course, with stainless steel, you never need to do that. But I mean, just look at this pot. This really is like heirloom quality. Now, yeah, stainless steel can look nice, but this is more like, workhorse material for your kitchen. You're probably not going to be wanting to, necessarily be displaying this. But this, I mean, come on, it's absolutely beautiful and it's heirloom quality. This is the kind of cookware that you pass down to generations and you really take pride in owning. Okay, so where does that leave us in the stainless steel versus tin comparison? Look, for myself and most of you out there, I'm just going to recommend stainless steel. For as wonderful as tin is, keep in mind it's kind of a chore, it's kind of finicky, it takes maintenance. But stainless steel, I mean, I just grab this stuff every day and I cook with it. I don't worry about it. Now, that's not to say that you can't have a tin-lined pot or pan in your repertoire. I mean, I obviously have this one and I do use it on occasion. It's really special stuff and the reaction time is magnificent. So, if you find a great deal on one, I say get it if you're a serious cook and you really want to see what this stuff is all about. But for most of you out there, I think stainless steel is just going to be the safer bet. I mean, this can still be a serious pan. You can still do serious cooking with this stuff, and it's just far easier to take care of. And well, it's also going to last a lifetime with proper care. I want to hear from you though. What is your favorite type of cookware? Be sure to put that in the comments below. Okay, trivia time. Last week I asked you to identify this strange looking kitchen tool and several of you got it right. It is indeed a truffle slicer. Wow, have you ever had truffle? The stuff is just extraordinary and talk about expensive. I don't happen to have any truffles. We'll just say I used the last of mine last night, but you can just imagine this mushroom being a truffle, and the way this works is you just shave it over this really sharp blade and you get those wonderful little shavings. For this week's kitchen tool trivia, what in the world could this thing be? I didn't get it at the carnival, but well, with this crazy green color, it looks like that. If you know what this thing is or you have a guess, put it in the comments below and I will let you know the answer next week. As always, thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. Until next time, I hope you want to cook.